In order to maintain a healthy life, you have to be able to restore your self-esteem despite any setback. How is it that two people can view, let's say, losing their job in two very different ways? Well, it depends on how they each take control of the situation. Here's a short story for you. There's a little boy named Tommy, and his family's kind of poor, so every summer, instead of just hanging around with the local kids, he gets a job. And he works long hours, but he gets a 30-minute lunch break every day. And during his lunch break, Tommy goes down to the local diner for a peanut butter sandwich and a glass of milk. But every day before he can go into this diner, there's a gang of little boys who stop and harass him. And every day before they see Tommy coming into the diner, they huddle up and they say, "Get out a nickel and a dime, somebody." I bet you Tommy's so stupid that he'll think that a nickel is worth more than a dime because it's bigger. So, it's several weeks into the summer, and they stop Tommy once again like they do every day, and they say, "Hey, Tommy, here's a nickel and a dime. Which one do you think is worth more?" And Tommy grabs the nickel, just like he does every day, and the boys all laugh at him, just like they do every day. And Tommy takes his nickel, because if he takes the nickel, they let him keep it. And he goes into the diner, gets his peanut butter sandwich and his glass of milk. And the owner of the diner, he sees this happening every day, and he feels sorry for him. So finally he goes up to Tommy. He says, "Tommy, they make fun of you because every day they ask you which is worth more, the nickel or the dime. And you pick the nickel because you think it's worth more, but the dime is worth more." And Tommy says, "Oh, I know that. I picked the nickel because they'll do it every day so long as I keep taking the nickel, and I've saved up about $5. Tommy told him, "As soon as I take the dime, then the game is over." So Tommy took control of the situation, made it work to his benefit. Sometimes a coping strategy that can help is to compare yourself to others. Research shows that you can actually feel more positive when you think of people who are worse off than you. This wouldn't seem to be a positive coping technique, but it actually works. What they found is that if someone owns a $200,000 house and it's in a neighborhood with other houses that are only $100,000, that person with the $200,000 house will be very happy with his condition and where he's living. If, however, the person with the $200,000 house lives in a neighborhood where all the other houses are worth $500,000, do you think he's very happy? No, that happiness is relative to everyone else's. He measures his success relative to others. So you can see where if you compare yourself to people that are just worse off than you can feel better about your situation and put it in perspective. Some people are able to cope with very stressful situations by transcending their situation. I'll give you an example. There were many Holocaust survivors and prisoners of war who actually kept a positive outlook and maintained their will to survive by focusing on helping others. People actually gain strength by giving to others when they're experiencing a bad situation themselves. Many relieve their stress by seeking support. There's a close relationship between close relationships and mental and physical health. This leads into the idea of personal identity and individuality. Do you think in our society, in the USA, that personal identity and individuality are the focus? The individualism of Western culture is linked to depression and loneliness, unfortunately. The more individual our pursuits, the more separated we are from social support. Today, more people are lonelier, homicidal, more likely to divorce, and more likely to live alone than their grandparents were. In 1940, 8% of people lived alone versus in 1988, 24% live alone. Today, that number is much greater. Close relationships in which there's self-disclosure often predicts happiness. Sociologists and psychologists have studied Latino longevity. Many Latinos live long and healthy lives. What does their culture stress as important? First of all, their family, the maintenance of work ethic, religion, the formation of community, and leisure activities. An Anglo baby born in LA County has a life expectancy of 73 years old, whereas a Latino baby has a longevity of 78. In 1990, the average Anglo senior generated $13,800 in hospital bills, whereas the average Latino generated $3,600. They use hospitals less, they live longer, and are less likely to suffer from heart disease, cancer, or strokes.